Thanks so much for joining us today on Feeling Good. I'm Shelly Abrams, your host, and we are delighted to be here at a site that is very busy. And as you'll be able to hear in the background, it's a very packed house here at the Lindner Tennis Center for the Cincinnati Open tennis tournament. I mentioned to Dean from ICRC and our sponsor, by the way, Warren County Community Services. I had mentioned that this is kind of a throwback for me of actually 40 years. My first visit here to the tennis tournament was in the 1985-90 years. And that's when, I had always played tennis from high school just as an amateur, but enjoyed tennis. Played through college, just pick up games. Never played on a team because actually my high school did not have a tennis team before Title IX was passed. But then, thankfully, today, there are many girls' teams, high school teams, including my high school as well. Nonetheless, so 85 is when I first realized that the ATP tournament, which was only men at the time, was happening here in Mason, Ohio. And at the time, I lived in nearby Lebanon, Ohio. So I can remember volunteering for golf tournaments, actually here at the Jack Nicklaus Golf Course, which is adjacent to this tennis property. And I remember as a volunteer for the seniors golf tournament, the LPGA, and so on, I remember thinking, maybe volunteering would be a good way of seeing what goes on at this tennis tournament. So I found out how to volunteer. I volunteered from 1985 through into the 1990s and up until COVID, actually, in 2020. I was an usher. So I actually ushered for 15 consecutive years and actually learned so much about this tennis center. And that's why today, as we visit the brand new tennis center here and all the renovations and so forth, it just made me reflect on the changes and, kind of a back to the future thinking of how tennis has grown from, I want to say Lunken Airport was the very first site of the early tennis here in Cincinnati. And then there were several visionary folks that when they decided to maybe move the tennis center where they could expand, they decided to come here to the Mason, Ohio area. And I am looking directly across I-71 at the Eiffel Tower at Kings Island. So the movement to this area for Kings Island and then as well the tennis center was quite a bold visionary move. So nonetheless, getting back to my recollections, I'm thinking, well, I love being a volunteer and greeting people and finding out where they are visiting from. And I just spoke with a gentleman that we just ran into as we were setting up today. And he's from Madison, Wisconsin. Well, actually, originally from Madison, Wisconsin, but now from Milwaukee. And yesterday I attended all day, 11 to 8. It was a pretty long day, but it was a great day of tennis. And I met several people, and they were visiting from Milwaukee as well. And it just goes to show you that this location for this tennis tournament is a major, major tourism draw for people from all over the Midwest and even further. I mean, there are people here attending that go to all the tennis tournaments throughout the year. And they have always told me as an usher, that this was one of their favorite, if not the favorite, for being a friendly atmosphere, very cordial and congenial volunteers, and so on. Well, I'm hearing from listening to the TV coverage that when the current group of women and men from the ATP and WTA organizations arrived here on campus this year, they said they could not believe the changes, the positive changes from last year this time to this year. And I can attest to the changes because I live in nearby neighborhood of the greenery, and we could watch the building going on all year long. And it is truly, truly amazing to see. And I think we'll actually be able to get some footage to show you some of the differences. Okay, here we are today on Friday, fantastic Friday. The other day we were standing outside of the South Gate and we were doing kind of a stationary interview. Today we're actually inside the facility and we thought we would film a few segments of some of the new parts of the Lindner Tennis Center, the new part of the campus. So we're walking, I'm looking at the north entrance, if you've ever been here before. And we've got court number 3, which was the third largest court originally. And that's behind us. And then behind me is the center court, which is the largest court. And then beyond center court to the south is the grandstand. But the Champions Court is now a sunken court, and it's south of the grandstand. So there's a brand new court at the very end of this food court area. The food court is bigger, many more umbrellas, many more shaded areas. We've got, there's probably 12 food booths at least, 12 to 15. I tried them out last week. They were excellent, excellent. And then we've got the fan zone to my left, and we'll be looking at a few of these different locations so you can see some of the new and improved. And I understand the players are saying this may be their most favorite tennis complex of all the tennis tournaments they play in the entire year. So on with the show, and we'll see you in a bit. Well, I wanted to bring you to what I would call kind of the heritage grove right here of the tournament. And it's near the north end, which originally was the main gate for all the patrons to come in. Usually they all parked out in this area and would come in through the north gate. And Mr. Paul Flory was the chairman of this particular tennis tournament from 1975 until 2010. He originally worked for Procter & Gamble, and so you'll see this year Procter & Gamble is a major sponsor. In fact, Central, the main court is called the P&G Center Court this year. So it seems like that would make perfect sense. He is surrounded by just not wildflowers. They were grown specifically for all of these gardens, the planters, and you will see that it's just a very park-like setting. So I wanted you to see this for sure. Thank you to Mr. Flory for keeping this tournament, which, by the way, started in 1899, the longest running tournament in the same city, Cincinnati, and then, considering Mason, part of the Cincinnati area as well. Okay, onward. So here we are on one of the courts, one of 31 courts that have been built here at the tennis center. Originally there were 19 up until this year, and now there are 31, which I believe is possibly the most practice courts of any venue. And I understand that the players love having the practice court opportunities. Down here to my left, and you can see in the distance, people that visit the tournament love to watch practice because they get to see their favorite tennis players practicing right here. And they're so close, they're able to get their tennis balls, those big tennis balls, autographed. So they love to do that, and it's very popular. So you'll see that many practice courts just popped up this year and has really been a draw for both players and patrons alike. Okay, we'll move on. Here we are at one of the very new areas of the whole campus. It's the players' amenities that they are loving. They are staying here to play in between their matches. Even I've heard, even after they're out of the tournament, they tend to stay because they enjoy it so much. Right behind me, they have the new padel. I'm informed that padel is a combination of pickleball, paddleball, all the racket games with glass, or it's actually with probably fiberglass walls that you can play the ball off of the wall. So just think of any paddle game you've ever played. And this is kind of a combination of all those games put together outdoors. Then beyond that, you'll see this whole area is upscale restaurant, and right now it's player facilities. It's where the dining hall, it's where they relax. They have lounges there for the players. They have workout spaces, and we'll go by the workout areas, the gyms, the indoor tennis courts, and also there's outdoor workout area as well. So this is all right now for the players. But I'm hearing that we might get to use, we the public might get to use parts of this new amenity section during the rest of the year. Okay, let's move on. And here we are in the brand new Champions Court. The facility holds about 2,500 is what I was told. And as you can see, it's sunken into a very nice arena type setting. All the seats are individual flip down. In fact, all the seats have backs. There are no benches like there used to be. So the seats are very comfortable. And you'll see in the background, there's a Cincinnati Open greeting. So if you have an opportunity, make sure you tune in on the Tennis Channel because they are covering this tournament like for 12 hours a day. The tournament will wrap up on Monday, this coming Monday, the 18th. But it has been running since August 5th. So it's the longest running, most players, and I've been told the favorite tennis campus of all the tennis facilities throughout the world. So just know that here in Mason, Ohio, Warren County, the Cincinnati Open, I think, is making a record number of people feel pretty good about attending. And we hope you're feeling good. Bye for now.